Hello, this is Jonathan, and so what ended up happening was, okay, it's me looking up stuff on Git clean because I kind of wanted to reset things, as it were. I'll just close all that. Anyway, what I realized is that I don't know what I'm looking at here. I need to get the Amethyst book. I'm being silly. Where's the book? Here it is. This version of the book sucks. That's what I've learned. Don't use this version of the book. Let's look at Master. This is what I should have been looking at. So there's actually a much more detailed page talking about how prefabs work right here. Looking at the book example for the latest version of Amethyst, or at least the latest release of Amethyst, not very helpful, but this is actually very useful. I learned a lot about how entities and prefabs work. Essentially, what I was missing originally, so I've rolled back my branch back to the last commit I made, basically, and what I realized is that these tags here are actually they're implicit. So there's a prefab entity tag here. There's some kind of has checked or was checked tag here as well. So these are implicit, but you can also be explicit about them, like this prefab here. Another thing I noted was, since these are these entities are all prefab entities, they're not actual entities, so they're not actually going to be created right away. So this is different from the runtime entities. That's what the book says. There's also another limitation here. This is a vector, so all of these structs here, they have to be the same. That's why we're seeing that like pool of stuff, and then you pick and choose what you want. Seems like an API limitation. I think that they could benefit from using Frunk's HList here. I don't actually know like the specifics of their implementation or anything, but like in my opinion, this seems like the perfect use case for like a heterogeneous list, so that you don't have to be doing like the whole pick and choose, and some things are optional. Well, everything has to be optional. You need to just decide what does or does not exist. I think it would make a lot more sense to use HList there, but unfortunately, this is the API that we're left with. Nothing I can do about that, really, unless I guess like write my own HList wrapper and some kind of like parser that takes this and uses HList. Actually, maybe that's possible. I'm not entirely. I'm not gonna say it can't happen, but yeah, that's pretty much how this stuff works. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this right now. Right now I have a location.ron. This is supposed to only contain locations, like item locations. I'm not really sure how I want to structure all this, but this would be a was checked, and that's kind of implicit right now. So I could name it, and then I can be absolutely sure of what I'm doing. So this is technically a prefab entity, as we can see in the book here. That's what they're doing. And this is custom prefab data. What I find kind of interesting is that they have a player 0, and he has a sword weapon. Kind of makes me think of Mega Man. But anyway, I basically need to do the same thing here. So instead of this being a was checked, this could be item location instead. Now, oh great, there goes the fan. This needs to be prefab data, so I might just call this, I don't know, item location prefab data. I guess I don't really have to. I might want to add like a position to this as well. So yeah, I definitely think I want a position. Maybe not like an actual location on the screen, but you know, a grid coordinate, or grid coordinates of sorts. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Maybe I'll just leave it like this for now, though. And instead of this being false, well, actually, okay, yeah. Instead of that just being false, I'm gonna have to actually put like so the leaf level of this structure has to actually be components. So like item location doesn't have to be a component; it can just be a prefab. But these things need to be actual components. So yeah, this was checked. Can actually exist like this, and it should look like something like that. I guess I could give it a name, yeah, because like they're using a named struct here, or named arguments, which implies that it's a regular struct. So I'll just go was checked is false. That's what my actual structure should look like. And another thing that I learned from reading the book, or the new version of the book, is that the reason why we have these RON files is because we want to make sure that we can swap out data, and then not have to recompile every time. So, like, entity instantiation is done by the code. That's a logical thing. The actual data itself that we use and what we decide we want to initialize each object with, that's not really related to the logic, so we want to be able to just swap it out and not have to recompile, and that's what this is for. So yeah, I've learned a lot of things about Amethyst after doing a bunch of reading, and at this point I now think I should be able to make all this stuff work. So I do need to just create an item location prefab. This stuff is mostly right. I do implement component here. Apparently there's a derive for component as well, so I didn't have to do that. I might just go ahead and do that, like use the derive instead, but since this works, I don't want to change it. Actually, I don't have to make this item location different from the other, different from the other item location, because I can namespace them. So that's kind of cool. I like being able to use the same name for different things that are like structurally similar, or like conceptually similar, I guess. Oh yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention was that thread that I was ranting about yesterday. Turns out that someone actually eventually later pointed out that, hey, this is pure. So I threw them an upvote because I thought this guy needs more upvotes. He didn't have any upvotes, and he's right. The original builder pattern posted is pure, and also I realized that the original builder pattern that they posted was wrong, as in it probably wouldn't compile. At least I'm pretty sure it wouldn't compile, because it was taking a mutable reference to self and returning self. So yeah, to me it looked like he was trying to like move out of borrowed content. And the original poster did admit that the mutable reference was a mistake. They meant to take off this. So yeah, all that seems to be resolved, and all's happy and good in the wonderful world of my life, I guess. In other news, John Carmack actually made a tweet on Twitter that said that he's actually been dabbling with Rust lately, which is kind of interesting. I think it was in response to someone who was like, oh man, C++ is the best, blah blah blah. And he was saying something about like, oh, I've been dabbling in Rust, and I find this sentiment kind of weird because, you know, like, most people who are moving away from C++ are moving away from it because of what C++ can do, and not because of what it can't. So it's an interesting take. I mean, I do enjoy having all this extra type safety and everything in Rust, but I mean, you do also have to realize that this stuff doesn't come for free. Like you don't just like pick up Rust and everything is suddenly a lot safer. I mean, okay, that is kind of true. Like, you do get memory safety and stuff for free, but type safety, like enforcing that you don't have invalid states, is actually something that you have to do yourself still. Like, that doesn't come free in any language at all. But yeah, just thought I'd point that out, because, I don't know, I just felt like it. Alright, anyway, now that I understand prefabs, and I have this was checked handle that I probably don't want. I forget how the handles work in this case. Handle prefab, custom prefab data, yeah. So the data here, that's what gets created as, that's what gets wrapped in the handle prefab thing. So in this case, we're gonna want item location. Actually, I don't know if I have an item location. Yeah, I don't see one. I have filled location, but I don't have like item location. I have location. That's not like an item location. Then again, I don't remember what this returns. Shuffle and fill. Let's go to its definition. Filled location. Okay, that's right. So filled locations should have like an ID and yeah. And the labeled item. That seems about right. That seems kind of like what I want. So I guess at this point I just want a labeled item. Yeah. I think that makes sense. Or, well, I don't know what I'm saying. I just want to create the whatever struct that I was creating. Also, they have a whole lot of derives. Like, look at this. Oh my goodness. That's, like, absolutely insane. They just have, like, so many derives on these things. I don't remember what the other preconditions are. There might be, like, I might have to do this serialize and deserialize. I forget. But yeah, this is the basic example that I want right now. Yeah, okay. So the implement component, debug default, deserialize, serialize. I definitely need deserialize and serialize, I guess. So I do have those, that's right. Prefab data, prefab component, I implement component manually. I guess I could also do a component derive, though. That would probably work fine. Then we have this one. Yeah. Got it. Oh, those fields have to be public. Okay. Did not notice that. I'm gonna do that right now. Oh, these don't have to be public. Well, in that case... Well, actually I'm not sure. Maybe it does have to be public. I mean, it doesn't hurt. At least for now. I can remove it if I feel like I have to. I don't think it's going to be a big problem if I leave it as public anyway. So we need debug. Actually, we don't need debug. We need just serialize, deserialize, and prefab data. Alright, there we go. And that should be everything. Yeah, and I don't have to flag prefab component for this because it's not a component. It's just a prefab. And then in theory, I should just be able to load this. There isn't anything about how to actually use them, though. But they do have a prefab multi example, so I'm going to go look at that. It's on master, apparently. Which is this. Perfect. So let's look at the examples. Yeah, look at this. Prefab basic, prefab multi. That's good. This is good stuff. Because prefabs are very complicated in this engine. It's a little bit disappointing in a way. Create one set of entities from the prefab, yeah. Prefab handle equals some prefab handle, yeah, okay. So after you load, you're pretty much immediately allowed to just create the entity from the prefab, it seems. Asset storage prefab, okay. Oh wow, this is super clean now. Look at that. I guess it's super clean because they aren't using a whole lot of other crazy stuff. But this is good. This is very good. I like how clean this is so that you can actually read the example and do stuff. Wow. Okay. This is a lot to take in right now. Display loaded entities. Wow. So they just read from asset storage. Oh, they called get on the handle. Apparently there's a difference between the different kinds of prefabs. I guess asset prefabs, and some of them are not considered asset prefabs. I'm like, I don't know. It's really confusing. Like, I don't know the differences between all of them. Okay, so they do have a prefab loader. Is that what I'm using? I don't remember. Oh, can you go away? Prefab loader. I could have sworn that I did the load. Yeah, I did the load here. Yeah, and it is a prefab loader. Okay, I'm not crazy. They're being explicit about these lifetimes, it seems. It's interesting. I noticed that last time, too. I guess I don't want a was checked handle. I just want a handle to item location. But I don't know where that is, so I need to get it. Item location handle should look like that. Wait, do I need it to be optional? I forget. No, that doesn't have to be optional, but I still need the implicit sum. Okay. Here I can do this instead. Probably want to do that pretty much everywhere. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, location.ron is correct. Let's keep changing these. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I don't see any other locations where I need to change things. Obviously I will have to change things in play, but that's okay. Can do that change right there. What else should I change? Or else do I have to change, I guess? I'm not really seeing anything else. Where did I do the actual load? I guess I didn't do it in this version, did I? Thought I did. Well, I get in here and I have an item location handle. I know that much. So I guess here is where I would be doing that. Let's try running this thing. I want to make sure it compiles. I'm not taking any chances. Because IntelliJ is not very good at detecting all the compiler errors up front. And I don't really have any expectations of... Oh. What did I do? What did I do to cause this? I didn't change any dependencies or anything, so I'm kind of curious to know why it's recompiling. Oh, it's probably because I tried to do a git clean, and yeah, I don't know. I cleaned out a bunch of old changes, and maybe that affected this. I wouldn't be surprised. And that's okay. But it does mean I have to sit here and wait for everything to compile. And it might not compile anyway at the end. Which kinda sucks. But what can you do? At any rate, I think this is how it's supposed to work. And then I get the handle, and then I do something with the handle, and everything should be okay. So yeah, just making sure that I know what I'm doing here. So I load that RON format, progress counter. Create an entity with this. One set of entities from the prefab. Oh, okay. So I guess this has multiple entities in it. Let's go look at that file. It's called prefab/prefab_multi. I think it was in here. I have so many tabs open right now. I'm not happy about that. Oh yeah, look at this. Prefabs all over the place. Oh yeah, here's the player 0. Exactly. Okay, so I'm kind of curious to know why it's using asset prefab storage or asset storage. I should read about assets and asset loading and stuff. That's kind of important. It is, yeah, it's really tempting to go and read that right now, but I kind of don't really want to. But yeah, they do asset storage, prefab, player. And the prefab is named player. As far as I know, yeah, they're just doing exactly what that example showed. So I guess that's what I would need to do as well. So I'm glad that I got to see this example. This example is very helpful. I'm hoping it does compile in the current version that I'm on of Amethyst. No, I can't derive component. I guess because component isn't a derive thing yet at this point in time. So we'll just impl component for was check. That's slightly boilerplatey, but it's not that bad. I think I need an associated type for this. I can't remember. Okay, now I'm gonna go and GitHub my own stuff and check that out. I already forgot what I was doing. This, yes. Type storage equals, yeah. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. Is there... I think there is also just vex storage if you don't want dense vector storage. I'm gonna try that. Oh. Yeah, that would make sense. Load, item, location, prefab. Play does not have. It does have an item location handle. I don't know why that's complaining about that. It's kind of silly. I mean, we really just have to keep doing this until eventually it works. Unused imports, really? Huh. Oh, because I moved stuff. That's right. Alright, because I created that loading state. Which is a good call, by the way. Another thing that I really should do, though, with my play state is do what the Amethyst people did for their project, and instead of sticking all those systems up front in main, I think that's where I do it, right? No? Is that not where I do it? I remember I stuck like systems on a per state basis, and I don't remember where they are defined. They might be defined somewhere else. It might have been in like game data or something. Where is it? Here it is. I'm pretty sure I defined them here, which kind of couples everything to this, which is not really good. Yeah, this is where I have everything right now. Apparently that's not the right way to do it. There's a way to do it that doesn't have everything so tightly coupled this way to this class. But I don't know how to do that right now off the top of my head, so too bad. Okay, so that's fine. That's kind of what I thought. Now I'm going to try and actually do stuff with the assets based on what I'm reading here in this example. So we have a handle. We also need to read resource. Wait, whoa. Immutable? I mean, sorry, shared reference? Sorry. Apparently these are not immutable references, or like that's kind of the less correct name for it, because you can still mutate through this somehow. I think with like cell and ref cell or something. I can't exactly remember, but yeah, you can. This doesn't necessarily mean immutable. This just means it's a shared reference. So I'm kind of surprised that they are allowed to do that. I guess it's because they have a mutable reference, so then they can just pass in this as a immutable or shared reference. I did it again. It's a really hard habit to break because that's what the old documentation said. I think they've been trying to remove all usages of immutable reference. If I read correctly, I read somewhere on Reddit anyway about the whole shared reference thing and how that's a better name. Where do they call this? I'm being silly. Let's look up display loaded. Yeah, they do that right here. So they get data.world. Oh, right, because you get a mutable reference to data, but yeah, world itself is not. Yeah, you don't have a mutable reference to world yet because. Yeah, you're just borrowing world from data. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay. Stop dragging our feet. Let's actually get this working. So you need to do something like this, like prefab assets equals world.read resource. I'm just gonna adjust this. Just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Asset storage, and then instead of that, this should be item location. This one, I just want to be absolutely sure that I'm actually doing this correctly and that this will actually work, because prefab handle. So the prefab handle here is not an option, because I made sure it's not. It doesn't have to be. I don't have that extra wrapper on that. I can just do this, everything in here. Oh. Display loaded prefab. Ooh. Oh. Right, because we have to create a set of entities from the prefab. So this is where they create the set of entities. Oh, okay. I'm being silly. So I need to go world.createEntity with prefab handle.clone and then do a .build. And then afterwards I should be able to just load the prefab assets with the handle. And then I think that'll work. Display loaded prefab. Is that different? Display the contents of the loaded prefab. Display the components of entities in the world. Interesting. So it does both. I don't think it has to do this first. Like, I don't think that's required specifically. So I do need to do a world.createEntity with prefab handle.clone and then build at least. So let's do that. I just want to get an idea for how this all works. Now we have world dot. Okay, maybe like that. World dot create entity. Dot width. We'll give it self dot handle. Dot clone, of course. Dot build. I'm freaking out right now. I'm really not confident in this at all. So how does this work? What is this? What is this notation? I've never seen this before. 24, prefab 22, parent 6, pause 23, name 22? Huh. There must be some... That has to be Rust syntax. I've never seen this before. This is weird. This has to be Rust syntax, though, because it's in a printline macro. So I guess maybe the printline macro has received some overhauls lately, but I didn't see that in the patch notes, so maybe I just didn't know about this. This is not something new, but I just wasn't aware of this. Which, you know, I could believe. I could definitely believe that. Because, yeah, this is like a format string. And what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, so these are expressions on the right hand side. Those are strings. Maybe I should run this to get an idea, but I don't really want to go and pull this right now. I want to settle this once and for all, you know. World.exec. Okay. And then they do like a for each. Like that. Is that important? Maybe? I don't know. Read storage position. Okay, now at this point I think I can do the storage thing that I was doing last time. Just to make sure that I understand what the heck I'm doing, I could probably do a... I probably don't need to do this, actually. This is probably unnecessary. I'll comment it out for now. World dot... What was it? Come on. World dot... There we go. Read resource. I think it was world.read resource, right? Okay, I don't remember. I don't trust myself. I'm gonna go look it up. Or was it read storage? No, it was a storage, right? Like components are in storages? Pretty sure. Whoa, look at this. This looks so much fancier. Oh, and look, they even talk about like the... Like they even include like the generational indices. I remember hearing about that. It was like a keynote or something at a Rust conference where they talked about generational indices and ECS and whatnot. I think Jonathan Blow had some choice words about that. Okay, I'm back. Just had to go and take care of something for a little bit. So I also figured out where I was supposed to actually be looking at world here, documentation for that, and resources obviously are not storages. I remember that. Resources are, well, they're different. They're a different thing entirely. So I'm going to do a read storage on was checked, and now I should be able to just go storage.get, give it an entity, like the one that I created earlier, and that should just work. How about, let's call this location. Just give it some legitimacy here. So now I'm gonna go let was checked equal storage dot get, giving it location. Hey, where did you go? Hello? Okay, that was a little bit slow. Give it an entity. I didn't expect. Couldn't get. Was checked. Oops, what am I doing? So now we're gonna do that, and hopefully if it doesn't panic, then we're okay. And if it does panic, then we're screwed. Which is, well, that's par for the course, I think. I'm surprised that I was able to check in the code as it was earlier, without, you know, just by like setting the data equal to false that way. Like, I don't know, that just feels like so wrong. Like it shouldn't have worked that way. Actually, I didn't set it to false. I did actually set it to a was checked. It was just implicit, so that was my fault. And it doesn't crash. Okay, that's good. Let's do a print line, since we can do print lines here, which is quite nice. I guess I had to convert was checked into... Actually, do I have to? Maybe I can just do this. Now that's just a component. No, actually no, that's yeah, thinking about it, I should just be able to do that. Because this is a was checked struct, and then I want to get the field in it. And that's a was checked. Right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's a was checked. Yeah, there we go. Or that's a boolean. I should be able to just print the boolean. That didn't do anything. Did it? That really didn't do anything, huh? Okay. That's interesting. Pretty sure that this stuff is supposed to be run. Is my load state... What's that doing? It does switch states, and it gives it a play. It should be doing this. Load complete. Uh-oh. I have a bad feeling that this is not actually happening right now. Actually, you know, I have a new tool at my disposal. Debug. Let's go. Uh-oh. This should work. Like, I should be able to see these print messages. I have a feeling I'm not going to see that one at all. I didn't. I did not. Which means we're not actually making it to the next... We're not even making it to the next state. So we're stuck in the load state somewhere, I think, if that's what I'm seeing correctly. Let's do this. DBG. Hi there. Alright, so we've been given a nice new tool for debugging, this DBG macro, and I'm making good use of it because, well, it works. I'm allowed to do stuff with it. Yeah, there we go. We see a hi there. That's good. Good, but also bad, because now we know that this thing is not actually... It's not doing what I wanted it to. So it never gets into here. It never gets a load complete. Uh-oh. Here I thought I had everything all figured out, too. It is calling this, right? Okay, let's expand stuff. So this one's going to be loading. This one will be complete. And failed will know when it fails because it'll just explode. Let's try this. If this doesn't do anything, then, or if it just says it's loading forever, then that's really bad. It might actually be a reason why they structure their code in that weird way. Oh yeah, we're loading forever. We're never done. I'm gonna load and load and load and load. Okay, that's bad. So why is it loading forever though? Why at this point does it never stop loading? I don't want to explain this. Ah, here we go. Because I need to give it item location instead. It's called item location loader. That's right. So that's another gotcha that can totally screw you up here. It's kind of scary. There was in the Amethyst examples they did do something like add this specifically in that state, so it was all that, so that code is actually kept together. That's something I should definitely look into, because this right now this is just this is asking for bugs. I don't like that. So a lot of this has to do with the way that Amethyst is structured, but still, I could do a better job of making sure that stuff like this doesn't happen. Just by going with a better design. So let's see what this does. Ooh, that's pretty bad. Panicked. Couldn't get was checked. Okay, so we're seeing this again. Option.rs. Really? Okay, let's go check this out. So that didn't actually work. That's interesting. Let's check this out. So what did they do? They did a 0 to 1 for each. I don't know why you would do this, honestly. But that's what they did. They did a prefab handle clone. And they built. Yeah. Maybe I can't do that right away. Maybe I have no choice but to actually yeah, because this happens in update. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait until we get to update before we start doing stuff. That is really weird though. Might have to do with this stuff here. Maybe. I don't really know if I need to do something else. Yeah, I'm not sure why this is the way that it is. Okay, so we're gonna create the entity there. We do this. I know that's not the right thing, but oh, what am I doing? It's not that. There, data.world. Read stuff, check stuff, location. That's not right. Okay, so I need to set there. Oh no, that's also not good, because then I'm modifying the constructor for play. So what I need to do is make a constructor for play that oh god, this is so messy, but it's the only way as far as I know. It's the easiest way. We're gonna have to make a constructor for play. Let's do that. Pub fun new. Turn to self. Gonna go self. Oh, we're gonna take a seed, which is of type seed. Item location handle, which is of type this thing here. We're just gonna go seed, seed, item location handle. None. There we go. That should work. We call this entity. This thing needs a comma. No such field. Yeah, we'll just wait for that to kick in. Now in the load play state, I should, instead of trying to construct a play directly, I need to do a play new. Some fields are missing. That's kind of funny, because I'm pretty sure that there are no other fields. Yeah, okay, there we go. So that's done. Now should work, I think. Well, no, actually, no, that won't work. But what are you doing? Stop that. Self dot entity is that. We should wrap that in a sum. And now at this point here we can do self.location dot unwrap. It should work. You might want to take ownership of the entity. Oh, are you kidding? Just where is entity? Is that shouldn't it be in here? Stop that. Okay, it looks like the autocomplete found it, so I'm guessing that's the right way to do this. You stop being annoying. Oh, that's right. Alright, there's no named arguments. Please work. Just get out of my hair. No. No field location? Oh, it's called entity because I'm dumb. That's right. I mean, yeah, I want this to compile, but on the other hand, I am being stupid and writing bad code. Like, I shouldn't want it to compile when the code is obviously wrong and going to do wrong things. That's kind of the fallacy of disliking compiled languages like this. Yeah, there we go, we did it! Okay, so the trick is you absolutely cannot load, you cannot get the entity from storage until after you've finished onStart. So onStart allows you to create entities, but those entities don't exist yet until update is run. So there we go. We finally have the answer that we're looking for how do we make how do we use prefabs. I finally have code that works, and I have everything on camera now. So now I in all likelihood will not lose what I have discovered here. So I'm probably going to actually push this stuff to make sure that, hey, I know how entities work. Or not entities, but prefabs. Prefabs and entities, I guess, because if I had tried to you know, fetch the stuff from the storage immediately while I was still here, it wouldn't have worked either if it wasn't, even if I wasn't using this handle and prefabs and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that if I just threw in a component here and then tried to load it immediately, it would fail. Almost certain of that. So, there we go. I don't think I want to record anymore today, because, yeah, that was a pretty big milestone. I did... that was kind of my big goal, because I've been stuck on this particular step, trying to just load anything, any kind of prefab at all, for so long, that I was just... yeah, I was just kinda going, going crazy. Like, I just couldn't stop thinking about how the heck do I get over this hurdle, and... you know, am I ever going to be able to get through this thing in a reasonable amount of time? I mean, honestly, that was way more time than I ever should have had to spend on this. That was pretty bad. I think their documentation, the new documentation is good. The old documentation sucks. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And yeah, we're gonna stop right here.